I absolutely love Borderlands, at least the first two games. I played the first game when it came out, on the day that it came out. I played the second game on the day that it came out. And then after that, I completely fell off the face of the planet because I just didn't have anyone to play with anymore. I wasn't really interested in the pre-sequel. The third one came out and I didn't really gel with the humor. So now we're gonna catch ourselves up. We're gonna watch the entire Borderlands timeline and see exactly what's been happening in this series. Also, there's like a Tales series, I think, as well. Let's find out.
Everything in this universe begins with an incredibly intelligent ancient alien species known as Iridians.
Okay.
You find their ruins scattered across various points in nearly all of the games.
Oh, that's what that is? Those are ruins? I thought that was just a rock formation. But then again, I'm also a moron.
Specifically in the form of vaults. Within these vaults are remnants of their technology, whether they be weapons more akin to firearms, or relics that allow one to see glimpses into the future.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so from what I remember, and I remember playing the first game very vividly, but it's been a very long time. So I remember the first game essentially just being about the 4 vault hunters that want to open the vault because there is something inside of it. There's a big monster, you shoot the monster, you get things from the vault, bada bing, bada boom, or the vault shuts. And then it moves on to the second game. I actually completely forgot the plot of the second game, but I'm sure once we get into it, it'll all come flooding back.
Within these vaults always contained something, and that something can also be that of monsters. The Iridians had used the vaults for more than just storage, but also prisons. They would find dangerous monsters throughout the universe and lock them away inside one of these vaults.
That doesn't seem like a very good idea. If you're gonna put all of your most valuables, you don't put them all in the same place as some of the most dangerous, horrific monsters in the universe. That's like putting the deed to your house in the same cell as a serial killer.
Where they were likely never supposed to be released. But then they came across the Destroyer, the most powerful cosmic being they had ever seen that threatened to consume all life in the universe.
I love this boss.
They saw it their responsibility to deal with the monster, and so constructed a cage to hold it. Pandora. The planet where most of the games take place was that cage. The Iridians used their entire race as a sacrifice to power a mechanism they had built to seal the Destroyer, and it worked.
Their entire race to seal a destroyer? I mean, not to dunk on the Iridians a little bit, but you beat the destroyer by shooting them a few times in the game. But I suppose using an entire race probably would weaken down the destroyer. Probably quite a lot. By like 99.999% of its actual potential, so that when it comes out of the vaults, you just shoot it a few times, and it's so weakened that it can't even do any damage. That has to be the case.
At the cost of their entire civilization, the Iridians were gone in the blink of an eye. But remnants of their existence still remain, and Guardians stand there protecting them. The Guardians are more akin to robots, jailers standing guard at vaults. Fast forward hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of years, and we enter the more modern era of history. The universe is a lawless, dangerous, scary place to be, and so weapon manufacturer megacorporations have taken over the marketplace and are the most profitable companies that exist. A war between these manufacturers broke out, with only a handful coming out alive and remaining to this day.
Oh man, there's nothing I love more than a mega corporation. Let's go! Mega corporation weapon manufacturers! That's awesome!
These are the companies whose weapons we get to use in-game.
All right, in terms of these weapons, I was never a fan of Hyperion guns. I do like Jacobs. Jacobs has like this nice visceral feel to it. What was the one that when you run out of a clip, you have to throw it and it like blows up? Because that one's pretty cool too.
Really, the event that kicked off a whole new era was the discovery of the first vault. The Iridians didn't just disappear. In fact, these megacorporations became aware of the species and had been unearthing various artifacts. They were paying top dollar for them, so a lot of treasure hunters took up jobs trying to uncover these fabled Iridian artifacts, and one treasure hunter named Typhon DeLeon was the man who uncovered the very first vault.
Oh man, look at him. This must have been the pre-sequel. Or maybe it's even before the pre-sequel.
Working under
Wait, the pre-sequel is, of course, it's between Borderlands 1 and 2. I'm a moron. For some reason, I thought it was a prequel. It's not. I'm an idiot.
Atlas Corporation, They were the ones who laid claim to everything within the vault, and they uncovered the weapons and technology. They used what they found to reverse engineer and create and enhance their line of new weaponry. Atlas became the most profitable and valuable weapons manufacturer in the universe, far surpassing anything anyone else was making at the time. Word spread quickly of the existence of vaults, and thus kicked off a whole new era of vault hunting.
What was in the first vault then? Because there has to be some big scary monster that comes out, because there's always a big scary monster that comes out of the vault. So this Typhoon guy must have at least been decently good at vault hunting.
Corporations and individuals alike began searching every planet across the universe for these vaults, as the treasure found within would give them fame, money, power, everything anyone could ever want.
Greedy
Of course,
bastards.
it was rare, so it became more like a legend.
Like finding a
Everyone
shiny
dreamed of
Pokemon.
finding a vault. Parents would tell their children stories about them, and kids would grow up hoping to one day become a vault hunter.
Essentially, being a vault hunter is this equivalent of being a find a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow person and saying that's your actual job.
And this leads us to Borderlands 1 and our 4 main vault
The One
hunters.
Pieces of vault.
Roland, Lilith, Mordecai, and Brick have all ended up on Pandora to search for its vault for their own separate reasons.
All right, which character did you play the first time you played Borderlands? I was super into sniping, so I was like, boom, give me Mordecai. I love Mordecai. I was the sniper guy.
For some, it's money and reputation, or perhaps it's a big fight, but for Lilith specifically, it was also to find herself. You see, I haven't actually explained yet that
Oh, she was one of those girls that like, guys, I need to go to find myself. I need to fly to Bali and have an all expenses paid trip to find myself.
Lilith is a siren. Sirens are women who possess a very special, almost magical-like power. We still, even to this day, don't know much about what their purpose is.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's not like maybe it was power that the Iridians have that have been powered, like passed on by people that grew up in the same areas that they used to live in, maybe? That could be like a theory. That probably is a theory, right?
More so exist and are trying to find out what role it is they are meant to serve. So Lilith has wound up on Pandora partially in search of these answers, but also to get a big payday. By the way, Pandora has since seen its fair share of evolution of life, and megacorporations, particularly Dahl, came through and tore up the planet in search of its vault, ironically. Eventually, their efforts failed, and they left behind their workers who would lose their minds and become the psychos and bandits you encounter throughout the game.
What? No, a mega corporation didn't take care of their workers and abandoned them to die? What? No. I mean, it's a fantasy world. It's not like this thing kind of happens in real life.
Since then, Atlas has come to the planet, and now they're trying to uncover the vault. But anyway, Roland, Lilith...
You greedy bastards! You already had a vault! Get out with this! No! Hey, you get one vault and that's it. You don't get any more vaults. God, oh, I want more than one vault. How greedy can you be? Oh, it's a mega corporation. Yeah, they're quite greedy, aren't
Mordecai and Brick decide to work together and find this vault themselves. They are guided by Angel, another siren, who has her own ulterior motives which I'll explain here soon. Along the way, they come across many of the friendly residents who reside on the planet, such as Marcus, the bus driver who picked them up, Zed, the local doctor,
I love
Scooter,
Zed.
the mechanic, and many others. One of the most important being Patricia Tanis. She was left behind by Dahl and had been studying the Iridian artifacts and has become the foremost expert in the subject. With her help, they obtain the vault key and make their way to the planet's vault, all while killing the hostile bandits who stand in their way. Atlas also stood in their way a tad bit. They wound up stealing the vault key and made it to the vault first.
That was such a cathartic moment. Like, yeah, fuck you. You deserve that. You deserve to get impaled by a tentacle. Enjoy.
All wound up dying to the destroyer's mouth. This vault was actually just a feeding cage to satiate the destroyer's hunger. The vault hunters did defeat it, but there was no grand treasure hidden within or anything.
Damn, that's gotta be really disappointing for the Vault Hunters. After months of searching and dedicating their entire life to this, they open a door that is just a feeding cage for an eldritch Cthulhu-like being that will destroy the galaxy.
So that was just unfortunate. Having no use for the remains of the destroyer's corpse, the four decided to stick around Pandora. They met some really great people and so began to feel at home. The person who did have something to gain was...
Well, at least they made
Angel,
some friends.
Or her father, to be exact, Handsome Jack. He's the...
Oh, I forgot that Handsome Jack was Angel's dad.
The series' infamous antagonist and was actually behind Angel's
He's great.
guiding of the Vault Hunters during
He's a
the
great
first
antagonist.
game. At this point in the story, he's actually not very evil. He's a lowly programmer who works for Hyperion and, like everyone else, is trying to uncover a vault and make a name for himself so he can climb up the corporate ladder. That's not to say he's a saint right now. Angel did accidentally kill her mother, Jack's wife, and he didn't grieve with it in the best way. He partially blamed Angel and then locked her up inside of a mechanism where he used her siren ability to communicate with technology for his own self-gain.
Yeah, I think that's not a healthy way to grieve. I think first thing in order to get on the road to recovery is unenslave your own daughter. That'd probably be a good place to start, Jack. Then maybe a little bit of therapy could help. Try baking. Get a dog, actually.
So,
or a horse.
yeah, that's not
a unicorn,
great.
maybe.
And that's why Angel led the Vault Hunters through the first game, because Jack wanted a vault. Once the destroyer was killed, he scavenged the corpse and took its eyeball. He placed it on the Helios space station, a Hyperion moon base,
That's the eyeball?
and intended on using it as a weapon. He wanted to wipe out all of the bandits on Pandora and make the world a better place. But his aspiration...
Whoa, guys! I don't know if that's really the morally good stand to take, is the genocide of an entire planet's worth of people, just because we think that they are lower than us, or more violent than us, even though they are definitely more violent. They're so violent, they're absolutely insane. I don't know if the genocide is the right way to go. Maybe we enroll them into community service programs. Again, therapy could work wonders. You know, try and find a way back for these people. They've been trodden on and they've been oppressed for a very long time. We need to help them out.
of finding a vault didn't end there. He figured there must be another vault somewhere on Pandora's moon, and so he hired a bunch of freelancers to help hunt a vault.
Is this the
These
pre-sequel?
are the playable characters in Borderlands, the pre-sequel.
Okay, I never played this one.
Unfortunately for Jack, a group known as the Lost Legion had formed and saw visions of the future, that of which he was the source of a lot of calamity, and so were set on stopping him.
Yeah, well,
Considering
that's
their
true.
plan was to blow up the moon, it was easy to see them as the real threat and enemy of the people.
Okay, so what do we do here? We either fight on the side of the guy that wants to do the genocide, or we fight on the side of the people that want to blow up the moon that would subsequently lead to genocide, because what's a blown up moon gonna do? It's gonna land on the planet. Boom, it's gonna rock everything. You think if the moon landed on Earth, any of us are living that? Absolutely not.
And so many wound up helping Jack, the likes of which included Roland and Lilith, as they had begun dating and took a trip to the moon for a vacation. But
What?
as they went against the Lost Legion, Jack slowly began slipping into more psychopathic tendencies. He killed the Marif, seeing over the small space hub, jettisoned a group of scientists fearing one of them might be a traitor, and killed Felicity, an AI who just wanted to live. While
Aw.
all of these have their own justifications for why they happened, Jack's defense was
Do they?
more so justifying why he did it, instead of these things being absolutely necessary. Also, he seemed to be enjoying some of the really cruel things more and more. And so bearing
Well, listen, if you live on Pandora, it's not exactly a place with a lot of amenities. It's not a place with theme parks. You gotta find your fun where you can.
witness to his descent into madness, Roland, Lilith, and Moxie turned on him and sabotaged his giant space laser, which only further pushes him down a darker path. He would inevitably take down the Lost Legion and make his way to the vault where the Vault Hunters deal with its guardian, and he claims the relic for himself. Upon touching it, he too is given visions of the future. He sees a new method of wiping out the bandits on Pandora using an Iridian weapon known as the Warrior.
Okay, so this entire thing just gives him a new cool way to do genocide. He's like, oh man, new murder weapon unlocked. Let's go, baby.
Lilith, hoping to stop him, jumps in and punches the relic into his face, solidifying his complete turn into villainy as Handsome Jack. He dons a face mask to cover his scar and kills the CEO of Hyperion.
Oh, that's why he wears the thing. Okay, that makes sense. That's cool. And yeah, Pandora is a cage for the destroyer. An entire planet used as a cage. That's insane.
And takes over the company for himself. With his descent came a real disconnect from reality. He's always hated bandits as they were the cause for his wife's death, and Lilith and the others turning on him made him see everyone on Pandora as bandits. The term bandit more so became a term he used for anyone who stood against him, so pretty much all of Pandora was now at risk of being slaughtered by a man with a hero complex. To combat Handsome Jack, Roland and the others formed the Crimson Raiders. They collected all capable arms and began taking in
honestly Borderlands 2
possible to protect and stand against Jack and Hyperion.
One of the greatest games of all time, I think. So good.
As for Jack, he uncovered the warrior's vault as he saw in his vision and worked to open it. He began supercharging Angel with Iridium to shorten the time span needed between charging the vault key. He also began luring in as many vault hunters to the planet as possible and killing them on their welcome train. But his strategy in doing this failed on 6 Vault Hunters during Borderlands 2. Axton, Salvador, Maya, Zero, Gage, and Krieg all survive his attempt and very naturally become enemies of his.
Okay, I really wanted to like the assassin character in Borderlands 2 because that was the character that I played at, because I played as Mordecai and I was like, okay, I want to continue playing like an assassin type character or like a stealthy sniper type character. The assassin is just not like that. I don't like his ability at all. I kind of wish that I'd went with the soldier one instead.
They join the Crimson Raiders and agree to help stop Jack. Eventually, all of the Vault Hunters reunite, and Angel even switches sides. She's become tired of her life and especially what her father has devolved into, and so she has everyone come to her to claim the vault key. They do, and per her request, they wind up putting her out of her servitude, and she dies.
Oh, that's so sad. Dude, that is so sad. Angel has the saddest life. She accidentally has something to do with the murder of her mom. Dad goes a little bit wacky crazy, locks her in this chamber, siphons her energy because she's super special, even though there's nothing she could do about that. She just chills in there for probably like years. Dad goes even more insane. You're still getting used by Dad, getting siphoned, and then pumped full of iridium so you can siphon even more. And then as soon as you get released, you die. What a sad existence.
More than ever, Jack sneaks in and kills Roland in front of everyone and kidnaps Lilith to use her to finish charging the vault key.
I can't believe that Roland turned his shield off for that. That's crazy. Like, he was supposed to have a shield of like, what, 10 billion by now? He must be level 100. What is it with cutscenes and people turning off their shields? They should just kept it on. He probably would have had to shoot him like 50 times.
Without leadership, the only thing everyone feels they can do is continue in their mission to stop Jack. By the time everyone arrives at the warrior's vault, the key is finished charging and the monster is unleashed. But the 6 Vault Hunters actually managed to push back the monster and stop
it. Doesn't look that scary.
Everyone.
Yeah, what, was this going to genocide the entire planet? He doesn't look that scary. I think we could rocket launcher him.
Lilith is saved and she kills Handsome Jack with her own hands. In the aftermath of this, the Crimson Raiders...
Oh, he lands in the puddle that looks like wings, like Angel's wings. Oh, man. Symbolism.
...would feel directionless, as Roland was their guiding light, and without him, they don't know who to look towards. Tales from the Borderlands isn't the most lore-intensive story in the franchise. It's a long journey that tells quite a compelling story that introduces tons of great characters, but for the sake of casually explaining the timeline, Reese is a Hyperion employee who one day was hoping to be the next Handsome Jack, business-wise. So he's looking to get any advantage possible to rise up the corporate ladder to his next promotion. He and his
I hate him already. A corpo. Someone that just wants to rise up the corporate ladder.
Vaughn wind up stealing a business transaction meant to go down where they obtained a vault key. So they went to Pandora to make a deal.
Nice call.
Fiona is on the other side of that transaction. She's made a fake vault key and is trying to scam some Hyperion employees into purchasing it.
You just make like a normal key and pass it off as a vault key. Just pick up a normal shed key and be like, this opens a vault. Promise. I painted it purple. I mean, it's purple. Iridium.
And this leads to a whole back and forth between everyone, which eventually leads to the accidental discovery of the Gortys Project, an Atlas experiment where they tried to stop a moving vault. And to make an unexpected situation worse, Reese accidentally downloaded the memory of Handsome Jack into himself.
What? Oh no. What? Why would you do that? Was that USB for your brain? Jesus Christ.
Jack had an AI of his brain created, and so it's basically him from the point in time which it was made.
Oh, they couldn't get rid of a character that everybody loves so much. They're like, no, we need to bring in the character. He's dead, but we gotta bring him back. So there's like a USB that has his consciousness, and we'll just plug it into someone's head.
Jack, throughout the journey, would work to gain Reese's trust, but all for his own self-gain. The characters, like most, would work to gain access to this vault. They find the Gortys project is actually a robot and need to assemble various parts of her that are scattered. The most important piece is back on Helios, which when obtained, Jack whispers sweet nothings into Reese's ear about becoming the new CEO. When not expecting it, Jack forcibly
This is like the Borderlands version of Succession.
downloads himself out of Reese and into the space station and takes control of everything himself. To kill Jack, Reese sends
How is this motherfucker so easily manipulated? Does he not know that Handsome Jack is like bad?
the entire space
Maybe he
station
doesn't.
crashing down to the surface of Pandora. But amongst the rubble, Jack re-downloads himself into Reese, for which Reese finally puts an end to him by crushing his cybernetics completely. And thus, Jack is
Did he pull out of his eye? Oh, God.
gone once again. The vault of the Traveler is opened via Gortys, however, it goes very poorly. They're forced to destroy Gortys, and everyone moves on with their lives. That is, until they are regathered by Loaderbot, who asks that they help finish the job and free Gortys of her mission. The characters comply, and with the aid of many that they met during their journey, the vault is reopened and the monster within it killed. Reese and Fiona lay claim to the riches inside, but disappear unknown what it is they found.
Okay, so it seems like there's not that many vaults that open and it goes well. There was the first vault that got opened by Atlas and they're super omega rich now. And then there's that vault where there's a monster that gets killed. Who knows if they even made it out of the vault? Who knows if they're still alive to this day? They might have just got swallowed up by the great beyond. Who knows?
After Tales from the Borderlands, Lilith would come to accept her new role as the leader of the Crimson Raiders.
This is Borderlands 3. Never touched Borderlands 3. I've kind of had a little bit of interest into playing it. I haven't heard the greatest things from fans of Borderlands that this is a really, really good game, because I have really fond memories of Borderlands 2, so let's see what happens here.
While she's hesitant, many look towards her the same way they look towards Roland, so she's willing to accept that responsibility. In the 7 years that would come to pass between Borderlands 2 and 3, a new cult would rise to prominence on Pandora known as the Children of the Vault. Troy and Tyreen are the children of the very first Vault Hunter, Typhon de Leon, and have come to the planet because they are aware of its true origin as the vault containing the Destroyer. They've developed a god complex, and so have built up an audience of devoted followers across the galaxy to help them open Pandora.
Are these characters the cringe ones? Because I heard that there's characters that just, like, the humor just doesn't hit in this game.
They are also sirens. They can leech any...
Wait, they both? Hold on, they're both sirens? Didn't someone say there was only supposed to be 7 at one time? I mean, Angel dies, so that, like, frees up a slot, right? Lilith is still around, and the main character, or one of the main characters from Borderlands 2, she, in theory, isn't dead either. That's a lot of sirens in one place.
Organism and use its energy. Same as with the warrior, vault keys need to be charged, and since Pandora's key is literally the size of the moon, it requires a massive amount of energy to do so. So Tyreen plans on leeching energy from other vault monsters so then she can leech the most powerful monster known to existence thus far.
The Destroyer.
It involves Pandora. The Crimson Raiders find it their responsibility to stop these crazed maniacs from taking over the planet. 4 new Vault Hunters would join.
Whoa, are these the Vault Hunters? Wow, I feel like I've not even seen any of them.
Their ranks, and their efforts to stop the Children of the Vault would lead them into space and all across the galaxy. They are chased from vault to vault with a very back and forth nature. The twins claim some monsters, and others are killed before they have the chance. We do enlist the assistance of Maya once more. She has since taken up an apprentice and has been training her to be the inheritor of her power.
Ava is the apprentice, which I guess is another siren?
Once she's gone. Unfortunately, that time comes much quicker than anticipated. Because Troy winds up leeching Maya and stealing her powers.
Jesus Christ. That must make them insanely powerful. Like, if you're just, like, leeching all these vault beasties one of them was said to be able to just genocide the entire planet. So if you just leech one, it's like, oh, well, now I'm planet potential right now.
He is able to pull in the moon and begin opening the planet vault. While the
Bro,
vault
you're running around with guns? Like, I know there's a billion guns, but what can a billion guns do against I can force pull the moon?
do kill him, it is too late as the moon has entered the planet's atmosphere and has begun to break. Their father does step in to try and help stop his children by assisting in using the mechanism the Iridians used to seal the destroyer in the first place, but that plan inevitably fails and Tyreen actually kills him. She
Damn, I mean, there's being a bad dad, and then there's
does wind up getting her way. She absorbs the destroyer as it begins to emerge from its cage and becomes a god. Not an invincible one, as the 4 Vault Hunters kill her mortal form. Tyreen is slain, but the moon is...
What? Are you kidding me? Like, she spent this entire time trying to power up, killing her dad, getting the brother killed, all of this effort, absorbing the monsters, and just gets owned by 4 guys with some cool guns? You could have skipped all the charge up, you know? You could have done that a lot sooner.
Still breaking apart the planet the closer it gets. So Lilith uses her siren powers to fly up to the moon and phase into it, stopping it dead in its tracks.
I don't remember having that ability in the game.
The entire planet from imploding in on itself.
Oh no.
Gone, the Crimson Raiders are yet again in a state of disarray without a leader heading the charge. Tanis is working diligently to find out what happened to her and how to get her back, and Ava was left in charge. But for now, that's where the
Man, that's sad. So Lilith is dead. Roland got owned. Jack's dead. Maya is dead. Damn, they really they killed everyone, didn't they?
Timeline ends. At least for how this video is concerned. If you want more, I have tons of other videos.
Mass, it's kind of a sad ending to things. Obviously, the most important thing in Borderlands is the gameplay, and the humor is really, really important to it. I have heard that the humor is not so good in Borderlands 3, but man, that's a really sad ending to the whole story. At least Brick is alive. I mean, that's the main thing. Brick's good. I mean, Tiny Tina's probably still alive as well. She's off doing like D&D or something like that. Lilith is missing. I mean, it kind of implied that she was dead here, but she might be missing. True. Hopefully Mordecai is still alive because that's my boy. That's who I played as since day 1. But that is the Borderlands timeline. I'm now all caught up. Well, thank you, Eruption Fang. This video is fantastic. If you want more Borderlands content, please go subscribe to them. If you want me to react to a video, leave in my Discord server.